This is NLPS ED Talks, a podcast brought to you by Nanaimo Ladysmith Public Schools. I'm Dale Burgos, the Executive Director of Communications, and I'll be sharing conversations with students, staff, and friends of the district. We'll learn, we'll laugh, we may cry, but most importantly, we'll share the unique stories of individuals that work and play in our school system. Nanaimo Ladysmith Public Schools is one of many school districts in British Columbia, Canada, and is centrally located in one of the most beautiful places in the world, Vancouver Island. Thanks for joining us. In the podcast booth today, I've got a student, and it's always exciting to have a student because we always we want to have as many students as we can in the podcast booth. And so today, I've got Annalise Lam. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks for coming. I appreciate this. And you come bearing, well, not gifts for me, but gifts that were essentially, I mean, these are things that you've earned. And so we'll get into that right away. You'll notice, and we are recording this too. So I've got this on video. And so if you're watching this, you'll see that she's wearing a costume as well. So we'll explain all of that. And this is the reason why she's here. So first off, Annalise, welcome again, like I said. So you are a student of where?
Nanaimo District Secondary School.
Excellent. Okay, so NDSS for short, in case I do use that later in the podcast. You're in grade?
I'm in grade 12.
Perfect. Okay, and 17 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I always like to do on the podcast is I like to get to know a little bit about the person that I'm interviewing. So we talk a little bit about the past, and then we talk a little bit about present and then future.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so grade 10, NDSS.
Grade 12.
Grade 12, sorry. All right, you did tell me. And in my head, I was thinking grade 12. Thank you for that. So you are graduating this year?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Congratulations. What's the plan?
I'm just trying to keep my options open. I'm not really set on one career path or anything. But I'm really into maths and sciences. So that's what I'm going to start studying next year. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so let's start with math. Is there a part of math that you really enjoy? Like, do you like calculus? What's the big one?
I haven't taken calculus yet. I've taken pre-calculus. I'm into that. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And then science. There's a lot of different sciences.
Yeah. So I've taken biology, chemistry, physics. Yeah.
Okay. Is there one that you're leaning more towards? Like, are you like more the physics side or?
I don't know. I'm in chemistry right now, so I feel like I like that. But
that's the one fresh in your mind. I
get it.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about why you're here. Let's get right into it already.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about some of the history and then how you started and all of it, okay?
Sounds good.
So obviously, right in front of us here, so for those listening on the podcast, you obviously can't see this. If you're watching it on YouTube, then of course you can. But on the table in front of us here is a trophy. And so let's explain. What does this trophy represent?
Okay, so it's the World Championship trophy, first place in the world for the junior division, which is the 16 and 17-year-old Highland dancers. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And this, where was this big tournament held?
So it was held in Dunoon, Scotland.
Dunoon, Scotland. Have you ever been there before?
No, it was my first time going over to dance in Scotland.
Wow. Okay, so obviously a big trip for you, and then coming back with some hardware. I think that's
it was
excellent.
Unexpected.
Was it unexpected, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I just never been to Scotland before, so I didn't know like what level of competition there would be and everything like that. Yeah.
Right. But clearly, I mean, you're doing pretty good because even before this competition, you had won. What else have you won?
Yeah. So this summer, I actually won the Canadian Championships as well. Yeah.
Okay. So is that still the same division, 16? 17?
Yeah, 16, 17 for both.
Okay. Now, so let's try and split these all up here because there's obviously the Scotland one is the big one. That's like the World Champions, like the Olympics.
Yeah.
Of Highland dancing,
the
right?
highest level.
Okay, and then now the one in Canada, is that something that you have to, when you compete and win in, is that how you get to Scotland? Or
no, so they're not related. Like for the Canadian Championships, you have to qualify top 3 in your province to be able to compete in the the Canadian Championships. Yep. And then for the World Championships, there's 2 days of competition for the Worlds, and the first day is like the qualifying day, so everybody from all over in your age division comes, and then the top 10 in there's 2 heats, and the top 10 from each heat qualify for the actual world finals. Yeah. And then the second day, the 20 compete for the world championship title. Yeah.
Okay, so a bit nerve-wracking, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Okay, yeah, I bet it would be. So then to get to So can anyone get to the heats? I'll call them the heats, or the first day of competition. Is that how it works?
So anyone, any level from in the premier level of Highland dancing, which is the highest level, can register, but it's pretty prestigious to get to the top 10 in your heat.
I bet it is. No kidding. And well, congratulations first off.
Thank you.
that is a tremendous feat and pretty cool. I mean, coming from small island, I'll say small island, Vancouver Island, right? I mean, we're not a big city here in Nanaimo, but at the same time, there's been a lot of talent that's come out of this area. So, how did you get started in all this? How long have you been doing Highland dance?
Okay, so I started when I was in kindergarten, so over 10 years of dancing now.
Wow. Okay.
My dance teacher did a program at my elementary school where there's like a trial course and you get to learn like the basics and the foundations of the dance, and then I was just hooked. And my sister also danced before me, so she's just like a year and a half older than me, and I just really looked up to her, so I was like, oh, she's having fun, I want to do it too.
I love it. That's good. Now, is this something that is in the family, like our parents, or was there somebody else, other than your sister, of course, was somebody doing Highland dance?
Okay, so my great-grandma on my mom's side,
Okay.
My great-grandma on my mom's side, she used to dance a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's in your blood.
She's Scottish, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so there's some Scottish blood.
Yeah,
in
a
the
little
family.
bit.
I love it. Okay, so that's a great thing. So doing this for over 10 years, who do you dance with?
Okay, so I dance with Dina Henry, and she's at the Brigadoon Dance Academy in Nanaimo.
Henry, Brigadoon Dance Academy. Very well-known dance academy, right? I think that there's been some pretty big names that had come out of that dance academy, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so good. And here's another one right in front of me as well. And you were also, there was another person from Nanaimo that went with you that competed, right?
So Kelty Willis also came with me to Scotland. We went with our dance teacher.
Oh, that's awesome. Good. So there you go. 2 Nanaimoites
Yeah.
representing. No kidding. Well, again, congratulations. So let's fast forward a little bit here and let's go back to the Canadian Championship. Let's talk a little bit about that one. And so when was that one held again?
Start of July.
Start of July. Okay, so that was your summer, basically, the start of your summer.
Yeah.
And where was that held?
That was held in Regina.
Regina. Okay. You ever been to Regina?
Yeah.
Okay. Also for competition? Is that
not for competition.
Not for competition.
I have family there.
Oh, okay, good. Excellent. So how was that one? Do they follow the same sort of process in terms of how the tournament works?
Okay, so for that one, like I was saying, you have to qualify at the provincial championships.
Yes,
So for BC, the provincial championships was held in like the end of May. And then, so the top 3 qualify from each province. And then there's the Canadian Championship. So it's a series, for the Scott Dance Series, they call it. Okay. And then there's like 4 days of competition. And one day is the actual Canadian Championships. And that's the day when all the representatives that qualified in top 3 get to dance for the Canadian Championship.
Wow.
But the other days are just like large amount of competition. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. And like you mentioned, a little bit nerve-wracking. I think I mentioned that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you, obviously you're going against a bunch of people, right? Everyone's got all different levels, but when you get to that point and you're winning championships, obviously you're doing really well, right? So what's going through your head when you're going through these competitions?
Well, at first, you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many people, there's so much talent. Like, you kind of doubt yourself, and then you're just like, okay, I gotta really focus on what I need to do. Don't think about the results. Just think about, like, my dancing, my technique, what I need to personally do to put out my best performance.
Yeah, good for you. And to be able to do that at 17 years old, in a competition, I mean, that's, it's not easy.
It took a lot of learning experience.
Exactly. Yeah, no kidding. And so to be able to have that mental capacity and then also just, go through dance. I mean, and people say, oh, they're just dancing, right? I mean, how can you really screw up? But I really think if you're not on your mental game,
it's a big part of it.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Excellent. And so what did you win at the Canadian one again? So what were your total hauls there?
Okay, so at the Canadian Championship, I came overall first place in Canada, so Canadian champion.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was a big breakthrough for me because before that, I'd only ever placed in the top 6, which is like the top 6 get trophies, and they're like the big winners kind of thing.
Yes.
So I hadn't been in the top 6 for a couple of years now.
Okay.
So this was big for me, getting into the top 6, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm the Canadian champion. But it was actually a really tough group, because all the results were like really inconsistent. You know, like being a sport, there's different ways to judge it, like very artistic, different ideas of what judges want to see in your dancing. So it really varied, the results. So I actually only walked away with 1 gold medal from the Canadian Championship, and then 2 silvers, and then a 5th place. But overall, I accumulated the most points, so I ended up Canadian champion.
That's what I'm talking about. Excellent, good. So gold, 2 silver, and then a 5th place.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. I love it. Now, typically, and if I had you in here and that's what we were talking about, we would stop there and we would just say, hey, congratulations. But you went to the next level now. Like now we're talking across the whole entire globe. And this is a big competition. Now, I did a little bit of reading, and you called it the Cowal Gathering, right?
The Cowal Gathering.
Cowal Gathering. So this must have been, like, this has been going on for years now,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Do you know how long the history is on this?
No, I don't.
No.
Long time.
It's got to be. I mean, they've probably been doing this for decades, most likely, right? So some big names coming out of there. Big competition. So you're in the 16-17 category.
Yeah.
Cowal Gathering. Now there's a lot of groups, or how does that work?
Okay, so for the actual World Championships, there's only 3 age divisions. So there's 12 to 15-year-olds, and then 16, 17-year-olds, and then the adult division is anybody older than 17.
Okay, so you just made it into that.
Yeah,
into
so
the 16, 17.
it's kind of the little niche that you want to be in, because there's less age groups.
Yeah, now next year when you go back, you're going to be an adult then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so more competition there.
Definitely.
That's okay. You've got youth on your
Yeah.
side and a previous championship, right? So what's the experience? I mean, you hop off the plane, right? Well, first off, I'm sure a plane ride to Scotland was a few hours.
Yeah.
Right. Let's be honest, right? But once you get there, what's the feeling?
Well, it was just like a shock everywhere I went, because I was shocked by the culture, and then the dancers. Everything was just like a little bit overwhelming, but at the same time just starstruck. Like, oh my gosh, I'm actually here. Like, Canadian Highland dancers don't always get the opportunity to go over to Scotland, so it was really cool to have this experience. Yeah, like, I haven't been over before, so I didn't know what to expect. So it's hard to describe.
I bet it was, no kidding. And do you know, has there ever been a Canadian champion before? I'm assuming there might have been, but do you know any of that history at all?
Pardon?
Like has there been a Canadian champion in your division in the past? Like, so before you came in,
Canadians have won the World Championship before.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yes. So you've joined those ranks is what I'm getting at here. That's very exciting. And really, I think that's just an amazing feat, but obviously a lot of training involved, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. So you've got, now how many medals did you take home from Scotland?
Okay, so I got 6 medals at the World Championships.
Okay.
So there's 4 Highland dances that you compete in at a championship, and then I got a medal from each one of those, and then I got an overall medal for being the Canadian champion, overall first, and then they also have they award best Scottish dancer and best overseas dancer in each group. So I also, because being the Canadian champion. Not a Canadian championship, world champion, I got the best overseas dancer.
That's pretty good. No kidding.
Yeah.
Right? So what are those 4 dances you mentioned? What are they called?
Yeah, so there's the 4 dances. They're the fling, the sword dance, Centreuse, and the Strathspey and Highland reel.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you have, out of the 4, is there a favorite that you have, or all equal?
I have like times where I like some of them more than others,
oh, really?
But right now, yeah,
Okay.
I'm into the Highland Fling.
The Highland Fling. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that one of the more popular ones? Like if somebody were to think of Highland dancing?
Yeah, it's pretty trademark Highland dancing.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
And is that also maybe one of the hardest? Is there one that would be more challenging to learn?
I would say the sword dance is really challenging.
Oh, okay.
Because you it's a very mental game, like we were talking about before. Like, you really have to focus on, because you're dancing over swords, and then if you touch the sword, you're disqualified from the dance. So, like, it's pretty high stakes. You can't touch it at all. So you're dancing over these swords, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't touch them. So you just have to really stay on top of things and just focus on what you need to do.
Wow. Okay. Excellent. Now there's obviously other people that would maybe want to try this as well. I think you're going to inspire some people, especially here in Nanaimo and at Brigadoon Dance Academy.
Hopefully.
What are your suggestions for them, or what do you have any tips?
I would just say, if you love to do it, keep practicing, keep working on it. Like, I wasn't always the top dancer. I've really had to really work on different aspects of my dancing and the technique and the general look of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go. And is it, I guess, was this tournament held? I mean, so a couple of years ago. I mean, we're still going through a global pandemic right now.
Yeah.
So COVID-19 was around. And it seems that the age that you're at, sort of, you peaked at a good time. Yeah. Right? Because I'm assuming it didn't happen the last couple of years, right?
No. So I was actually going to go to Scotland to compete in, like, the juvenile division. Try to qualify to compete in the world finals. But obviously it got canceled because of the pandemic, so I didn't get to go. So that was actually really disappointing for me. And then the competitions and all the championships up until, like, the end of 2021 were not on at all. Like, we had to dance at home. There was no competitions nor anything. Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, now we sort of open up and we can start training again. And
I was really motivated after competitions came back, because I was like, I just need to take advantage of every single chance I have to dance. Like, I'm getting older. I want to, this is my age group. I want to shine in it.
And clearly you did. I mean, again, seriously, congratulations. I did, and we'll share some pictures. We've got a picture up close of the trophy. We've got a bunch of names on this trophy already, and then we took a picture of your medals as well, so we'll share that. There's just this is a great story, and I just, when I saw it in the news, when I first heard, someone from Vancouver Island, and I went, okay, I kept reading it. And I went, from Nanaimo, from NDSS.
Yeah.
I'm like, sweet, let's get her into the podcast booth. And I think that this has been a really good conversation. So obviously graduating this year, moving on, you talked about a little bit about university and other things. Is there maybe another challenge? Are you thinking of maybe picking up another dance, or is there anything that you think that you'd want to do?
Well, I'm just really into Highland dancing. I'm not really sure what else I could do, but it would be fun to try something new.
Yeah, no kidding. Have you tried any other dances?
I'm on the NDSS dance team, so I try different styles there.
Yes, right. With Kelly, right?
Yeah, Kelly Barnum.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Yeah.
Shout out to Miss Barnum.
Miss B.
Miss B, is that what everyone calls her? Okay, there you go. So she'll love that. We give her a shout out too. Is there anyone that so as a world champion, you've obviously had a lot of support. Do you want to give a shout out to anybody out there that's been a really big influence in your life?
Well, my dance teacher, I call her Miss H. She's Dina Henry. She's supported me so much throughout my career. My family, my friends, everyone has just been so awesome and given me so much support.
That's good. I anticipate that we're still going to hear from you again, and we'll see what happens at the next Worlds, right? And have you back in the podcast booth again, maybe
that
for
would
an
be
update.
Awesome.
Good, excellent. Well, Annalise, thank you so much for taking your time, coming down and visiting us today here on the podcast. And I think that it's a very special story, and I'm glad that we're able to share it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
Perfect, thanks. Have yourself a great day.
You too.
Thanks.